From Lagos, the nation's commercial capital, this is the news at 10, live from Channels Television. Reporting tonight, Amarachi Ubani.
Good evening and welcome tonight. NNPC completes repair of gas pipeline, re-injects equivalent of 1,505 megawatts of electricity into the national grid. Governor Babatunde Fashola asks Lagos residents to accommodate investors as oil refinery springs up in the Lekki Free Zone. PDP and APC continue to exchange membership ahead of the 2015 general elections. And Swiss voters back immigration quotas by a narrow margin, voting in favor of the referendum. It appears it is time to look forward to better days ahead for power generation in Nigeria, as the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation says it has completed repair work on sections of the sabotaged Escravos-Lagos gas pipeline network. This, the acting Group General Manager, Group Public Affairs Division of the corporation, Dr. Omar Ibrahim, says will enable the re-injection of almost 200 million cubic feet per day of gas. That's equal to 700 megawatts of electricity into the grid. The corporation announced last week it has completed repair work on the pulverized Trans-Forcados pipelines, which account for 805 megawatts of electricity. NNPC says with the repair, it has injected a total of 430 million cubic feet per day, translating to 505 megawatts of electricity every day. Repair work, however, is expected to be completed at the Itorogu gas plant. Dr. Ibrahim says all PHCN and NIPP power plants are now connected to gas pipeline infrastructure, while an additional 450 kilometers are currently under construction. 340 kilometers is expected to be completed by the end of this year, and the rest in 2016. The NNPC affirms its commitment to boosting gas supply with long-term projects to ensure that Nigerians are as comfortable as possible throughout the year. Meanwhile, the Lagos State Governor, Babatunde Fashola, says doors are now open for investors who intend to do business in the Lekki Free Trade Zone. The governor said this at a meeting with the host communities and investors at the zone. He explained that with the presence of a refinery and fertilizer plant being built by one of the investors, it will open up the economy of the state as well as the country's. The seed that was planted at the Lekki Free Zone, Akodo, in Ibeju-Lekki area of Lagos, is beginning to yield fruit as major investments are beginning to flow in. But it wasn't always this smooth.
We've reached an agreement in public. There is no relationship where there will be no misunderstandings, and that whenever misunderstandings do occur, they should deal with us. The government, their representatives, are not disrupt or disturb the activities of the investor. I find it hard to reconcile a demand for jobs with disturbing the development of factories and industries that will produce the job.
Now the people of Ibeju-Lekki have come to speak for themselves. And the administration of Governor Fashola means business. That business is coming in to do the same.
A master plan, well laid out, orderly development, and the investors are beginning to head this way. The tank farms will help us for a start to begin to clean up Apapa. The best is really yet to come of this zone, and the opportunities for the local people and the potentials for the Lagos and the Nigerian economy.
We are starting with the refinery and also petrochemical, which is to do polypropylene, also the largest ever size in Africa.
The people are beginning to see the big picture and have promised to give their support.
We know we have to see all the big giants, businessmen of Nigeria, and even the foreigners in the economy, and we are ready to accept them, and we are ready to give them good cooperation.
We want more investors to come in, so we are prepared for them. So we have talked to our people that they should not go and vandalize their property again. So we are all agree now that we want investors to come. So we are ready. So we fully support them.
With several investment opportunities coming into the Lekki Trade Zone, it will no doubt open up the communities and also develop the economy of the state and the nation. Controversies continue to trail the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation's operations in Nigeria's petroleum industry. And most recently, the NNPC and the Central Bank of Nigeria have engaged in a war of words over unremitted funds to the Federation accounts, which runs into billions of naira. In this report, our correspondent, Linda Akigbe, examines the current allegations made by the CBN governor of unremitted funds by the NNPC into the Federation account.
For the past 3 decades, crude oil has been a major source of revenue and foreign exchange for the Nigerian economy. One need look no further than the country's budget, which is partly hinged on crude oil production and oil benchmark price. The recent disclosure by the CBN governor of unremitted funds from oil revenue by the NNPC to the Federation account is a source of worry to many Nigerians.
If you recall, the sale of oil and gas funds over 70% of the budgets of all the three tiers of government.
It all began in December last year when a letter written by the CBN governor Sanusi Lamido to President Jonathan found its way into the media. In the letter, the CBN governor said the NNPC failed to remit the sum of $49.8 billion from oil revenue to the Federation account. The allegation caught the eye of the Senate. The Senate directed its Committee on Finance to investigate the matter. The NNPC swung into action, organizing a couple of news conferences to address the accusation by the CBN governor.
The statement credited to the CBN governor that NNPC has failed to remit the sum of $49.8 billion, representing 76% of total national oil receipts, is born out of a surprisingly lack of understanding of how revenues from crude oil sales are remitted into the Federation account.
But fast forward a few days later, at the Senate public hearing into the matter, the CBN governor made a U-turn and said so far only $12 billion was left unremitted. But the Minister of Finance, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, at that meeting countered Mr. Sanusi.
There is a general consensus among us on this table that there is a shortfall, even though the amount is being disputed. For us in Central Bank, the shortfall in the period is about $12 billion. No, I just wanted to add that we found about $10.8 billion.
In the confusion of how much exactly was left to be unremitted, the Senate Committee on Finance asked the CBN, the NNPC, Ministries of Finance and Petroleum to work together and present a true picture of the amount left to be reconciled. But come January, at the continuation of the hearing, the CBN governor came out with a fresh figure which he said was left to be remitted by the NNPC. Linda Akigbe, Channels Television News.